Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, looking down, and realizing that your penis has come back to life, full, hard, and strong, the way it used to be decades ago. No pill, no risky procedure, no empty promise. Just the power of one food that can transform your body from the inside out. Most men over 60 are told it's over, that decline is natural, that weakness is inevitable. But I'm here to tell you something that will shock you. It doesn't have to be that way. My name is Dr. Mohit Kara, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist. For more than 30 years, I've devoted my life to helping men reclaim their strength, their pride, and their intimacy. I've treated thousands of patients, and I've seen firsthand that age is not the end of vitality. It's simply a stage where the right choices can unlock more power than you ever imagined. And here's the paradox. The solution to harder, longer-lasting erections is not hiding in a pharmacy, but sitting right in your kitchen. While men waste billions on pills that only mask the problem, the real fix lies in natural foods that rebuild your body's ability to perform. Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly which food has the power to restore your erections, how it works deep inside your blood vessels, and why it can be more effective than any prescription you've ever heard of. And in just a moment, I'll reveal how eating this one food every single day can reignite your manhood, boost your energy, and give you back the confidence you thought was gone forever. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another powerful health lesson designed for men over 60. And I'd love to hear from you. If this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If you think I can make it better, type 0. Your feedback helps me create exactly what you need. Now that you know the promise of what's possible, let's begin with the very first truth every man over 60 needs to understand: why erections actually fade with age. Because until you uncover the real hidden reason behind the decline, no solution, food, pill, or surgery can truly work. 1. The hidden reason erections fade after 60. When most men cross the age of 60, they're told the same story over and over again, that losing the ability to get and maintain a strong erection is simply part of aging, something they should accept quietly. I can't tell you how many patients have sat across from me, eyes down, voices low, saying, "Doctor, maybe this is just the way it has to be." And every time, I lean in and tell them, no, it doesn't have to be that way. The real reason erections fade after 60 has very little to do with masculinity or desire and everything to do with blood flow. Think of an erection like a river. When you're young, that river is wide and free, rushing with energy and strength. But over time, the river narrows, its walls stiffen, and the flow slows to a trickle. This is what happens inside your body as arteries become less flexible, and the natural chemical that opens them, nitric oxide, drops dramatically with age. Without open, healthy blood vessels, the penis simply can't fill with blood the way it once did. And here's where it gets personal. I remember a man in his late 60s who told me, "Doc, I still feel 20 inside my head, but my body won't follow." His words stuck with me because he was right. His desire, his spirit, his will were all alive, but his blood vessels were not supporting him anymore. This hidden truth breaks more men than the physical weakness itself. It chips away at their confidence, their sense of pride, their relationships. Yet, once they understand that the decline isn't because they are broken, but because their blood flow has slowed, everything changes. Because what slows can also be restored. And when you learn how to unlock the natural key that opens blood vessels again, you realize that age does not have to mean decline. So the question becomes, what exactly is that natural key, and how can you use it to bring back erections as hard as stone? The answer lies in a tiny molecule your body already makes, but not enough of as you grow older, and that's where we go next. 2. The power of nitric oxide, your natural Viagra. When I first discovered the role of nitric oxide in a man's ability to achieve and maintain an erection, I remember feeling two emotions at once, excitement and frustration. Excitement because I knew this tiny molecule could change the lives of countless men. Frustration because hardly anyone was talking about it. You see, nitric oxide is not some exotic drug or supplement. It's a natural chemical your body produces, and it acts like the master switch for blood flow. When nitric oxide is released, it signals your blood vessels to relax and open, allowing blood to surge exactly where it needs to go. Without it, no matter how strong your desire is, your body simply cannot deliver. I think back to one of my patients in his 70s. He came into my office with a quiet desperation, telling me he felt like less of a man because he couldn't perform anymore. After running some simple tests, I explained to him that the issue wasn't his masculinity or even his hormones. It was his nitric oxide. His body wasn't producing enough to open his blood vessels. The look on his face shifted from shame to hope. For the first time, he understood the problem wasn't who he was, but what his body had stopped doing. And here's the most empowering part. Nitric oxide can be restored naturally. Foods rich in natural nitrates, especially leafy greens, give your body the raw material it needs to produce nitric oxide again. When that happens, blood vessels soften, circulation improves, and erections return with strength and confidence. It's like turning the key in an engine that hasn't roared in years. The truth is, this tiny molecule is the closest thing we have to nature's Viagra, and unlike the little blue pill, it doesn't just mask the problem, it treats the root cause. But maybe you're wondering, is this just a theory, or does real science back it up? Stay with me, because what researchers have uncovered about food and sexual health will leave no room for doubt. 3. The food that makes your penis rock hard. So now that you understand the power of nitric oxide, the question every man asks me is simple. Doctor, what food actually brings it back? And here's the answer that often surprises people. Leafy green vegetables. Spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens. These humble foods are nature's most powerful nitric oxide boosters. They are packed with natural nitrates, the raw material your body converts into nitric oxide. When you eat them regularly, you're not just filling your plate with something green, you're feeding your blood vessels the exact fuel they need to open wide and allow blood to surge into your penis. I'll never forget a patient of mine in his mid-60s who had nearly given up on intimacy. He told me, "Doc, I've tried pills, I've tried supplements, but nothing lasts." We shifted his focus away from chasing quick fixes and onto building a foundation. I asked him to start with something simple. 6 servings of leafy greens a day. Within weeks, he noticed his morning erections returning, not weak or fleeting, but strong and steady. A few months later, his confidence was back. He told me with a grin, "I feel like myself again." And the truth is, that wasn't a miracle. It was biology working exactly as it was designed. What I love about this food is that it's accessible to every man. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a complicated plan. You need a plate filled with greens that can literally bring your manhood back to life. It's simple, it's honest, and it works. But I know what some of you are thinking. Is this just one man's lucky story, or can every man over 60 see the same results? That's where the science becomes undeniable, and once you hear what researchers have proven, you'll never look at your dinner plate the same way again. 4. The proof. Science that can't be ignored. Stories can inspire us, but what truly changes minds is evidence. And when it comes to erections and food, the evidence is overwhelming. Over the years, I've watched study after study confirm what I've seen in my own practice. Men who eat more plant-based, nitrate-rich foods don't just live longer, they perform stronger. One landmark study, often called the NANI study, tracked more than 2,500 men and found something striking. Those who followed a plant-focused diet had a much lower risk of erectile dysfunction compared to those who didn't. These weren't young athletes. Many of them were already in their 60s and 70s, and yet the difference was undeniable. Then came the health professionals' follow-up study, which followed over 21,000 men for decades. Imagine the scope of that research. Decades of data, thousands of lives. The results showed that men who ate healthier diets enjoyed an 18% lower risk of erectile dysfunction. Think about that. Almost 1 in 5 men avoided the struggles so many others accept as normal aging, simply by changing what they put on their plates. And the most powerful evidence of all came just recently. In 2024, researchers pulled together 14 studies, analyzing nearly 27,400 men across different countries and lifestyles. The conclusion couldn't be clearer. Mediterranean and plant-based diets consistently protected men from the decline in sexual health. These weren't isolated results. They were repeated across cultures, across decades, across every type of man. For me, as a doctor, this isn't just data, it's hope. It tells me that men are not destined to decline, that their bodies are capable of rebuilding at any age, and it should tell you the same. But hearing about studies still leaves one question lingering. What exactly should you eat today, tomorrow, and every day to see these results for yourself? The answer, I promise you, is both simple and satisfying. 5. Exactly what to eat every day. Whenever I sit with a man in my office who looks me in the eye and says, "Doctor, just tell me what to eat," I know he's ready for change. And the truth is, the prescription isn't complicated. It doesn't involve measuring every calorie or following a rigid plan. It comes down to filling your plate with foods that open blood vessels, fuel nitric oxide, and keep your arteries young. Let me paint the picture for you. At the very center of your plate should be leafy greens: spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens. These are not just side dishes. They are medicine in disguise, packed with natural nitrates your body uses to unlock strong, lasting erections. Surround those greens with whole grains like oats, brown rice, and quinoa, which keep your energy steady instead of clogging your arteries with sugar spikes. Then add nuts and seeds: almonds, walnuts, chia seeds. These are rich in healthy fats that protect your heart and improve circulation. Fruits, especially berries, oranges, and pomegranates, are loaded with antioxidants that repair the delicate lining of your blood vessels, making them more responsive when you need them most. Don't forget legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, powerful plant proteins that build strength and support your body without weighing it down. And instead of butter or heavy fats, use olive oil or avocado oil, simple swaps that keep your blood flowing freely. Of course, what you leave off your plate matters just as much. Red meats, processed meats, fried fast food, sugary drinks, and refined carbs slowly choke your circulation and steal away your vitality. Replacing them isn't deprivation, it's liberation, the freedom to live fully again. I've watched men transform their health and their confidence by making these choices, and it always starts with one simple meal. But here's the question I hear most often after sharing this plan. How soon will I feel the difference? And that, my friend, is where the story gets even more inspiring. 6. How fast you'll see results. One of the most common questions I hear from men who are ready to change their lives is, "Doctor, how long will it take?" I understand that question deeply, because when you've spent years feeling like your body has betrayed you, the idea of hope feels urgent. You don't want to wait forever. You want to know that change is real and that it's coming. The truth I've seen in my own patients and in the research is that your body responds faster than you think. For some men, within just a few short weeks of eating the right foods, they begin to notice small but powerful changes. Maybe it's waking up with a stronger morning erection, the kind they haven't felt in years. Maybe it's having more energy in the afternoon instead of crashing into fatigue. Maybe it's something subtle, like feeling a quiet confidence that had been missing. These first signs are like sunlight breaking through after a long night. They remind you that your body is still alive, still capable of rebuilding. After 3 months, the progress becomes harder to ignore. Erections are firmer, more reliable, and energy levels are steadier. Men tell me they feel younger, more in control, more connected with their partners. And for those who stay committed, something remarkable happens over the course of a year. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s experience erections stronger than they had in their 40s. Not because of magic, not because of a pill, but because they rebuilt their blood flow meal by meal, day by day. Of course, this kind of transformation requires patience and consistency, but the reward is extraordinary. And yet, many men never give themselves the chance to reach this point. Which brings me to the final and perhaps most important truth you need to hear: why so many men miss this opportunity, and how you can make sure you never do. 7. Why most men miss this chance, but you won't. Every week in my office, I sit across from men who carry the same heavy look in their eyes, the look of regret. They whisper things like, "Doctor, maybe I should have tried harder when I was younger," or "Maybe this is just the way life has to be now." And my heart breaks a little, because I know what they don't. It never had to be that way. Most men miss the chance to reclaim their strength, not because it isn't possible, but because no one ever told them the truth. They've been conditioned to believe that decline is natural, that weakness is inevitable, and that their only option is to hide their frustration behind pills or silence. But here's the reality I've witnessed over 3 decades of treating men. Decline is not inevitable. It's a choice, and so is renewal. The reason so many miss the opportunity is because society sells them quick fixes instead of real healing. It's easier to hand out a prescription than it is to teach someone how to change their life. And yes, rebuilding through food and lifestyle takes effort. It means consistency, patience, and a belief that you are still worth the work. Sadly, many men give up before they ever give themselves the chance to succeed. Yet you are not like most men. The fact that you're here, listening to me, searching for answers, proves that you are different. You are already taking the first step toward writing a new chapter for your health and your manhood. And I can tell you with absolute certainty, it is never too late. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s transform their vitality, their confidence, and their relationships by embracing this path. So the real question is not whether it can happen for you, but whether you're ready to claim it. Because in just a moment, I'll show you how to take everything we've discussed and turn it into lasting change, the kind of transformation that can redefine the rest of your life. Closing inspiration. At the end of the day, every man reaches a point where he has to decide how he wants to live the years ahead. I've spent more than 3 decades listening to men over 60 tell me that they thought their best days were behind them. And I've had the privilege of watching those same men, once they understood the truth, completely transform their health, their confidence, and their intimacy. The hidden reason erections fade is not weakness or loss of manhood, it's blood flow. The key to restoring that blood flow is nitric oxide, your body's natural Viagra. And the most powerful way to rebuild it is not through pills or procedures, but through the food you choose to eat every single day. Leafy greens, whole grains, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, and healthy oils. These are not just groceries, they are medicine that repairs your blood vessels and reignites your strength. Science has confirmed what I've seen with my own eyes. Studies across thousands of men prove that a plant-based, Mediterranean-style diet lowers the risk of erectile dysfunction and protects sexual health even into the 70s and 80s. And the timeline is more encouraging than you might imagine. Small improvements in weeks, dramatic changes in months, and life-altering results within a year for those who stay consistent. But the reason many men miss this chance is because they never try. They give up before they start, or they believe decline is their destiny. You don't have to be one of them. The choice is yours, right now. You can choose decline, or you can choose renewal. Every meal, every decision, is a step toward the life you want. Your body is waiting. Your pride is waiting. Your best years are not behind you. They are just ahead, or ahead, ready for you to claim.